Devin Haney wants to file a lawsuit? Hi, welcome to the channel. I'm Jay, and this is our 2 cents, where we talk everything boxing, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion. In today's video, we will be discussing Devin Haney and the lawsuit he has threatened to file on Ryan Garcia. But before we do that, make sure you punch that like and subscribe button, and make sure you let me know and drop it below your 2 cents as we go throughout the video. So now that seemingly the Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia drama was coming to an end, Devin Haney decided to throw another wrench into the drama by saying he's going to basically sue Ryan Garcia for emotional distress and lowering his value. Now, Ryan Garcia, of course, just like everybody know, tested positive for Australian after their last fight, after he put a brutal beating on Devin Haney. And today, the New York State Athletic Commission ruled that Ryan Garcia will get a 1-year suspension, and he would have to pay back his $1.1 million purse that he received from the fight. Now, a lot of people thought this was a win for Devin Haney. Word on the YouTube streets, a lot of the Devin Haney fans, the Hanos clan, whatever you want to call them, they were happy that Devin Haney was able to get his O back. They were happy that the fight was ruled a no contest. They were happy that Ryan Garcia got a year suspension. And boom, I'm thinking that that's going to be the end of it. It's all over now. But as the day went on, Devin Haney started tweeting about suing Ryan Garcia for lowering his value after he took that brutal beating. And I believe the reason why he tweeted that was because he had another fight coming up. He had inherited a mandatory before the Regis fight in Sandor Martin, or Sandor Martin, however you want to pronounce it. Now, I believe before the Ryan Garcia fight, Eddie Hearn let it be known that Devin Haney was going to have to drop that belt because nobody is going to want to pay for the Sandor Martin fight. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Eddie Hearn said that before the fight. So after the fight took place, the purse bid took place earlier this week for the Sandor Martin fight, and the only person to bid on the fight was Bob Arum, $2.4 million, which means Devin Haney would have got around $1.2 million for that fight, for his purse. And Devin Haney was tweeting, he was on Twitter. He seemed to be very upset about this, that Eddie Hearn did not bid on the fight. And in my opinion, if you ask me, I don't know how he didn't know before the purse bid that Eddie Hearn wasn't bidding on the fight when he's already said. I seen him say in an interview that it's not going to be any money for that fight, and he believed that Devin Haney was going to be dropping the belt because he's not going to want to accept the purse. So only person to bid on the fight was Bob Arum. It seemed like Devin Haney got a little bit upset about that. And I seen an interview with Eddie Hearn where Eddie Hearn said, look, Devin, DHP, you got your own promotional company. How come you didn't bid on the fight? Me and you have no obligations together. You're not signed to me. So I'm not obligated to bid on this fight and lose money for this fight when me and you don't have any obligations to each other. We had the one fight deal with you and Regis. You came, took the belt over to Golden Boy. Then you fought with Ryan Garcia. We don't have any obligation to each other. So I don't know why you expected me to bid on this fight. So in my opinion, Devin Haney went on X, start throwing a temper tantrum, saying it's nasty work, and he can't believe that Eddie Hearn didn't bid on the fight, and all this other complaining that he was doing. When, like, serious question, Devin Haney, why didn't you bid on the fight? You have your own promotional company. Like, I don't understand why this is even an issue. So the ruling comes out. Ryan Garcia is suspended for a year. He has to pay the purse back. Throughout his suspension, he has to do random drug testing, I guess, so they can make sure he's not trying to cycle through any drugs while he's suspended. And Ryan Garcia comes out and he retires, saying he's going to retire for a year, blah, blah, blah. But we're talking about Devin right now. So I just want to give my 2 cents about the situation, because it's some things that's a little confusing to me that I'm not really understanding. The first thing I'm not understanding is, how is Devin Haney going to sue Ryan Garcia by saying that him beating him in the fight on steroids, quote unquote, is dropping his value? I'm just wondering, like, what the case is going to look like in court. Like, what are you going to say? Because if you think about it, Devin Haney's value was already getting lower anyway. He had the fight with Regis. He had the fight with Lomachenko. I'm not sure exactly how much he made, $3 million, $4 million with Lomachenko. Then he had the fight with Regis. I believe the fight with Regis was $1.5 million purse. Okay, he had the fight with Lomachenko. I think they did 150,000 pay-per-view buys, and he got his purse. No back end on that fight. Then he had the fight with Regis. I believe he got a $1.5 million purse. Didn't do enough pay-per-view buys. No back end on that fight. Then he had the, mind you, in all of these fights, he was the B side, not the A side. Then he had the fight with Ryan Garcia. Once again, he's the B side, not the A side. Now, I said earlier that Ryan Garcia had to pay back his purse. The split was 45, 55%. Ryan Garcia had to pay back his purse. His purse was 1.1 million. So if Ryan Garcia's guarantee was 1.1 million, what do you all think that Devin Haney's guarantee was? It was under $1 million. So it's if you look at the trend, you could see that Devin Haney's value was already decreasing. And I don't know if Devin Haney takes this to court, if he's going to be able to prove that Ryan Garcia intentionally took steroids, especially with the amount that was left in the amount that was in his system. I know a lot of people saying, oh, you can be cycling on, you could be cycling off, and it could be stored in your fat cells, and that's why it was so little, whatever the case may be. If he takes this to court, he's going to have to prove that Ryan Garcia took these steroids on purpose. And 2, he's going to have to prove that if he were to beat Ryan Garcia, that his value would have increased. And this is the thing that sometimes I think a lot of boxers get misconstrued. If you get in a big fight and you beat somebody, that it's not necessarily going to make you a star. You're not necessarily going to just steal their fan base because you beat them. One of the reasons why Ryan Garcia is such a quote unquote big name, or somebody that people would like to fight and have on their resume, is because he's coming with his own fan base that he's built outside of boxing. He has a bunch of followers on YouTube, bunch of followers on TikTok, bunch of followers on Instagram that are interested in seeing him fight when he fights the right person. Now, you've seen Devin and Ryan crying to Golden Boy on the internet about how they haven't got their money yet. So obviously this fight didn't do great numbers on the back end. It was a lot that went wrong with this whole fight. First of all, they wanted to charge too much for the tickets when the fight first came out. We didn't know the undercard until 2 weeks out. The fight wasn't sold out. It didn't do 500,000-600,000 pay-per-view buys, I guess, like it was projected to do. It didn't do a $13 million gate like it was projected to do. So this fight didn't make the money that it was projected to make. So the fighters didn't make the money that they thought that they were going to get. And I seen Eddie Hearn in the interview, and he basically said that they were delusional with the results that they thought that they were going to get from this fight. So I don't want to make this video too long, but my question is, how is Devin Haney going to prove in a court for a lawsuit his monetary value if he were to have beat Ryan Garcia? And it's almost like they're saying, oh, well, if Ryan Garcia didn't have this Austrian in his system, I would have beat him. How can they prove that? How can you prove that? You can look at the fight and see Devin Haney had a bad game plan. He came in there stepping to Ryan Garcia like he was going to knock him out, when Devin, you didn't knock anybody out in the last 5 years. What made you think you was going to get in the ring and knock out the biggest person you faced, the youngest person you faced, and the biggest puncher you faced? What made you think you were going to go into the ring and knock him out? So to me, trying to take Ryan to court about this, I mean, I will be interested to read the lawsuit to see exactly what it say. But I was just on Twitter and I seen that Ryan Garcia retweeted the lawsuit and was like, this some BS or whatever, basically is what he was saying. And Devin tweeted him back like, yeah, you want to settle out of court? Like, why would Ryan Garcia settle out of court? What are we settling out of court? No, I'm not going to settle out of court. And I feel like for Devin to even ask Ryan that, it almost seemed like you trying to hustle him. Like, why would I settle out of court? And on top of that, after Ryan Garcia got suspended for a year, Devin said he's going to take a year off and relax, I guess, and enjoy his money. When to me, that didn't make any sense. But I guess I'll make that into another video. But that's just my 2 cents about the situation. I don't understand what are you going to sue for in this lawsuit? Like, what do you really believe your value is? What you gonna sue him for? 2 million, 3 million? Like, what are you gonna sue for? What monetary value are you gonna be asking for? What proof do you have that if you beat Ryan Garcia, your value was gonna go up? And what proof do you have that if the quote unquote Austrian wasn't in Ryan Garcia's system, that you were going to beat him? Like, what proof do you have of that? How would you prove that in court? I'm interested to know that. So honestly, ever since this fight has been announced, ever since this fight has been signed, it's just been one antic after another. The whole thing has been a complete shit show, just to give my 2 cents about it. Ryan with the antics in the beginning, the overpriced tickets, the bad promotion, then you came out with the PED usage, and it's just really kind of, people are over it. People are really over it. And I know people feel like anytime, you say something or have any speculations or have any questions, people want to say, oh, you defending Ryan Garcia, you defending the drug cheat. And I'm going to make another video about the defending the drug cheat comments, because I don't think people understand how hypocritical that is to say you're defending a drug cheat when Devin Haney works with Victor Conti and also has Alicia Baumgartner in their camp. But let me know what you think about Devin Haney filing this lawsuit by dropping your 2 cents below in the comment section. Be sure to help support the channel by punching that like and subscribe button. Follow me on IG at 2 cents 20. Follow me on IG at 2 cents boxing, and follow me on Twitter at 2 cents 20. I'm Jay, and stay tuned for my 2 cents in the next video.